Ladies and gentlemen, we meet again towards Parashat Balak for some of you and Pinchas for those who are in Israel. And we find something very interesting on these all these parashot, if we look at them from a wider angle, Chukat, Balak, and Pinchas. Really, Moshe Rabbeinu is actually seeing his final stage in life, where he actually sees quite a few things which are encouraging. First of all, he sees that Am Yisrael has a few military successes against very big and strong nations like Sichon and Og Melech HaBashan. That's in Parashat Chukat. He also sees that we have a success against Bil'am ben Beor and the king of Moab, who's Balak, and we overcome even non-conventional spiritual fights, and the curses were turned into beautiful blessings, which we spoke about last week. In this week's parasha, it goes even further, and we see that Moshe Rabbeinu comes to a state that he wants to count Am Yisrael. Before he leaves Am Yisrael, he wants to know how many has he left behind him, and then the Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel, is going to be divided to these people who he has just now counted. And that is a pasuk I want to focus on, that it says, Le'ele techalek haaretz. To these people who we just now counted, nobody else is going to die in the desert except me, says Moshe Rabbeinu. And actually, all these people who we now counted are all going to have a slice, a piece in the land of Israel. Le'ele techalek haaretz. I want to share with you a beautiful insight of the Sfat Emet of Yehuda Aryeh Leib Alter, who's from the Gur dynasty, Hasidic Gur dynasty. A beautiful idea. He takes the word chelek. Chelek means a part. Le'ele techalek. All these people have a chelek in Eretz Yisrael, and he tells us that actually every Jew in the world is born and automatically gets a part in three different areas, in three different dimensions, if you want. Every person gets chelek. In Eretz Yisrael, we have to find out what is our chelek, what is our part, where exactly is it suitable for us to settle the land of Israel. But every Jewish person has a place for them in the land of Israel. The second issue is, we know at the end of our davening we say, "V'ten chelkeinu b'toratecha." Everybody has his chelek, hers, in the Torah. The Torah is there and is available for everybody, and we have to see to which part of the Torah we can personally, each and every person can connect. And we have a chelek in the Torah, like we have a chelek in the land of Israel. But there's a third dimension, which is also a famous Mishnah, Kol Yisrael Yeshem Chelek Le'olam Haba. Every Jewish person has a piece, has a part in the world to come, has a chelek. The question is, can we actually actualize this? Can we get to it? It's there waiting for us. Our chelik ba'olah in the world to come, in Olam Haba, is sitting there waiting for us, like our place in Eretz Yisrael is sitting and waiting for us. And in the Torah as well, our place, where every person has a piece in the Torah that's waiting and sitting for him or her to come and settle that piece of Torah, that piece of land in Israel, and that piece of Olam Haba after 120 years. Now, the interesting thing, though, is that the Talmud in Brachot, Daf Hey, tells us something amazing, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has prepared three gifts for us. Tanya Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai Omer, Shalosh matanot tovot natan HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has prepared three beautiful gifts for us. V'chulan lo netanam ela al yedei Yisroel. However, they are all given to us by difficulties. We have to make an effort. 1 second, if we make an effort, it's not a present. No, it is a present. but he wants us to have a connection to this presence. A present you get free of charge, you don't really feel connected because you say, easy come, easy go. You don't really fully appreciate it. But if you have to work hard to learn Torah in order to settle your peace and cultivate your part of the Torah, if you have to work hard to get to the land of Israel and find exactly what is the right place for you to settle the land of Israel, if you can work hard, if we work hard and keep Torah and mitzvot, and so we can actually settle our peace and conquer our peace of Olam Haba. These are three beautiful presents, but they don't come, they're in potential automatically. But we have to conquer them. Have to conquer our peace in the Torah, conquer our peace in Eretz Yisrael, conquer our peace in Olam Haba. We are now towards the 3 weeks. We're on Shabbat will be Shiva Asar Tammuz. It's going to, the actual fast day is going to be postponed to Sunday, and we're starting the 3 weeks towards Tisha B'Av, and this date of Shiva Asar Tammuz, 17th of Tammuz, is when the walls were broken down by the Roman. Titus was leading the Roman war army, and these 3 weeks we have to really put our mind to these three things. To what extent we are actually working to conquer our peace in Olam Haba by Torah and Mitzvot, conquer our peace in the Torah by learning Torah, by putting in the effort, and Eretz Yisrael also in investing our time and money and effort in the land of Israel. These are the three issues to such an extent that we start saying in Elul, which is still a bit further down the road, we start saying then, LeDavid Hashem Oriv Yeshi, Tehillim, chapter 27, Kav Zayin, and there it says, David Amir says, Achat she'alti me'et Hashem ota avakesh. There's only one thing I ask from HaKadosh Baruch. And then he says, Shivti beit Hashem kol mechayai, l'achzor b'nam Hashem, l'vakim b'chlo. It's going to hold this. What does it mean? Achat she'alti. I've only got one thing, and then he puts on a few things. So in continuation to this idea of the Sfat Emet, he says that Achat is an acronym, is Rashi Tevot. Acronym, meaning Aleph, Chet, Taf. Aleph is Eretz Yisrael, Chet is Chaye Olam Haba, Taf is Torah. Achat sha'alti me'et Hashem. May all the difficulties in my life, says David HaMelech to Hashem, I pray to you that all my difficulties in my life will just be difficulties on my way to accomplish and to conquer my part in the Torah, in the land of Israel, and in Olam Haba, and that is actually what we should be focusing on in these 3 weeks. Shabbat Shalom.